Hello, Applebrooks. It's 2:18 p.m. on June the 13th, 2021. And I actually had to send a notification myself to Applebrooks because they're not sending out the notification. I have 84,000 subscribers on the YouTube, and maybe nobody gets a notification. That's how that works. Do I like it? No, I don't like it. I don't think it's right. When you have that many people, and then in a live stream you might have 30 people at the most, you might have 170 people out of 84,000. The same thing goes with my Facebook, 115,000 people. And rarely any notifications go out. Well, they go out right away, but it's only sent to maybe around 100 and some odd people out of that many thousands. So you know there's something messed up with that. Okay, but that's okay. We live in a messed up world. We really do. And on top of it, we got this. That's me. We've got this climate stuff going on right here. Look at this drought monitor right here. It is not very nice. Yes, hello. Hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello from my heart to yours, and thank you for joining me. Yes, you are. So I was sitting here looking at this. You know, this is severe. When it's right here, it's extremely severe. That looks like it's in the heart of Nevada right here. Boom. And then you see it's reaching over into California. Is it good? No, it's not good. Look, extreme drought. Right there. D3 is extreme drought. D4 is exceptional drought. Okay. Hello, King Ahuktamundo. Hello, everyone. Yeah, thank you for joining me. So about this drought, it says the drought cutoff thing for the monitor is each Tuesday at 8 a.m. Then they update the maps. Is what they do. They update the maps. Yes, you just don't think I'd love to see this. Well, it's okay. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. Physically, I can't do anything about it. I can pray about it and stuff like that. Like other people, we can do our praying and stuff and send positive thoughts that way. And yeah, but there are some things set in motion that we can't stop. There really is. Something like this. So look at this. So you got this right there. Look at this. So if I was to go over here, you see I type in stuff like that. So look, United Nations right here. So they played another game. They had another game that they played. They did, and it was planning early is the key to achieving drought resilience. So they had a mandate. So look at this, the Drought Initiative let's show you the date. The Drought Initiative during the 2018-2019 biennium. The new initiative focuses drought preparedness systems. So they already knew they got to get prepared because this drought was coming. The drought was coming, you all. That's what I'm telling you. It was coming. So they did a drill and they did a mandate. Regional efforts to reduce drought voluntarily and the risk. A toolbox to boost the resilience of people and ecosystems to drought. See, they're telling you, you've got to be resilient, you all. You have got to be resilient because you got to have resilience because this drought was coming back in 2018 to 2019. That's what they prepared for. And they had to get everybody on board. You know, you had to have your plan for this drought. You know, this United Nations, now see, this was really elevated. This was really high level because according to a 2018 United Nations World Bank high-level panel on water, 40% of the world's population is affected by water scarcity and as many as 700 million people at risk of being displaced as a result of a drought by 2030. So a lack of water. Often the outcome of a drought. So yeah, they had to validate their drought plans. Look at that. They even got a little video on what you can do. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it. But you can come over here and you can look at their drought initiative, because they put that in place. They got a drought initiative. They got it all going. Okay, they got it going. Hello. Yeah, so you got drought, you got fire. You got this current drought that now is happening. This is great. So then look, you got the western drought forces farmers to make tough decisions. As the water sources dry up, farmers are culling their herds, stripping the trees of their fruit, and foraging plant crops this year. Foregoing their plant crops this year. So this was June the 7th. So they're already, do you hear that? Stripping the fruits off their trees and foregoing planting their crops this year. Now there is something that was said, that was circulating. The big farmers were receiving letters not to plant their crops, receiving money. Yeah, you don't plant your crops. Well, it wouldn't do them no good, because look, they got the big drought as it is. Okay, they do. It's not good. And there are theories as to what is happening. Let's just say that there are theories, you all. Look, the water supplies are dwindling, so they got to make tough decisions. Apple growers are dropping fruit on their young trees in an attempt to keep them alive. Almond and peach growers are doing the same. They're taking the fruit off the trees. They want to keep them alive, you all. So this is the worst drought for a lot of people. Look at that. So, oh wow, this is global, maybe. Dyer in California, 41 of 58 counties are under a drought state of emergency in California. Look at this, you all. So this is trying to take its toll. It will. And we got other countries, we do, that are having water problems. They are. Yeah. A lot of other people are having water problems. It's even affecting the ducks. The ducks breeding. Oh. Well, look, that's right near me. We got to click into that. So we're going to look in this area right here. Oops, they can't find it. Now, why did they do that? I just clicked into that. It was the Republic. I wanted to see the drought conditions. Look at this. The drought conditions are negatively affecting duck breeding. Nobody covers Columbus, Indiana, and the surrounding areas like the Republic. So there must have been something about duck breeding, but you ain't allowed to. They must got themselves in trouble. Okay, they probably did. I don't know, but that story is gone. That's not good. If you're in Minnesota, the conditions are spreading. We've had a lot of rain here where I'm at. We have a lot of it, but you're going to see it's got long-term drought. Okay, let's think about that. So there was a period in history where there was an enormous drought. I think it was in the West. I forget what era it was, where it was just dust. It was dust all over the place. They couldn't plant nothing. They could not plant anything. So drought in the West. In the West. Does anybody have the exact period of time that happened? Was it in the, it was the early 1900s or something. This earpiece trying to fall out of my ear. There was a terrible drought. Yes, Christina. Yes, drought in the what was it, the 19, I don't know what the exact history date was, the 18, maybe? Yeah, found it. Found it, you all. This is, look at this. No, this is history repeating itself. That's exactly what this is. That's right. So introduction to the Great Depression and the drought. Introduction. Let's see if they let us get this. So look at this, you all. The drought. There was a drought. In 1914, Congress passed the Smith-Lever Act, which formed the structural and financial foundation for the federal government's efforts to improve agriculture and rural life throughout the nation. In 1918, each agricultural county was required to have an extension agent to help raise production and promote conservation of resources during the war. Um, After World War I, each county voted on whether or not to continue to support the extension work. I want to see where the drought came, you all. Okay, look at this. Adams County seized the North Dakota nation. The stock market crashed in 1929. By 1932, drought had begun to damage the crops on the northern plains, and by 1935, drought meant that farmers could not feed or water their cattle, sheep, hogs, or horses adequately. Look at this. In 1932, the economy weakened by bank closures, farm foreclosures. This is history repeating. High unemployment. Adams County's voters decided to discontinue extension operations in 1933 with the passage of the AAA. The U.S. was required to have a county agent to administer the federal programs. So look at that. So they had this drought by 1932. First you had the stock market depression. Then you had the drought that quickly followed it. Look at that grim story of increasing hardship in southwest North Dakota, and drought, lower yields of wheat. Look, they got their farms too. It killed, look, arsenic laced with bran was used to kill grasshoppers because they had a grasshopper plague, causing the farmers some concern for the safety of their livestock. So they had that, you all. And then the extreme drought caused their cattle and sheep to starve to death. Look at that. Federal programs to buy cattle, sheep, and hogs at rock bottom prices were not popular, and the killing of cattle too weak to be shipped to distant markets. The drought ended in the late 1930s, and World War II, 1941, raised prices and demand for wheat and all of that kind of stuff. The 1930s would ever forget the desperation and sacrifices of those dark years. So, yeah, if you lived during the Great Depression, you know how terrible it was. You had to make do with what you had. You really did. That's great. That's really lovely. Yeah, it said the hard times of war. They have hard times of war. So all that's missing for us is a world war, you all. I'm sure that there is a world war coming in the playbook. I really do. So they also had bitter weather of December of 19th. How badly can cattle and land sales suffer from, look at this. Oh, it's going to suffer bad. See, you ain't going to get hardly anything for your land. If your farms go under, look at this. A freak 1870 climate event caused drought across, look at that, you all. Why is this happening? Caused a drought across 3 continents in 1870. Did you all know about that? It's not easy to forget the deaths of 50 million people, but we have managed it. A global drought in the 1870s caused mass starvation in South America, Africa, and Asia. But the event doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. Now it seems the drought was triggered by a never-before-seen combination of climate events. While rare, the drought was entirely natural, so it could easily happen again. Between 1875 and 1878, severe droughts ravaged India, China, and parts of Africa and South America. The result was a famine that struck 3 continents and lasted for 3 whole years. It was one of the worst humanitarian disasters in human history. Oh, you all. Driven by climate. Talking about the Black Death in the 1300s. You know, I read something about this Black Death in the 1300s. You know, there is a group. Yeah, I'm sweating up here because I turned the air off, but I like to sweat. I really do. It's good for your body. I got my own sauna up here. So, you know, I read something about the history of Earth. I watched a little bitty video. You might have watched it too, concerning the flat Earth theory. Now, don't ban my video. And they said that there were some who believed the Earth was only, history only went back maybe a couple hundred years or something. There was nothing before 1800 in one part of it, I think. But then how can we have this Black Death in the 1300s? There's so many theories out there. There really are so many theories out there about how old the Earth is, what history is truth and what history isn't, and what history has the wrong dates and what history doesn't have the wrong dates. You know what I'm talking about? All of that. You all might have seen that, you all. You may have seen it. So our world, look, if 50, during the late Victorian Holocaust, yes, good chat, during the University of California Riverside book, The Late Victorian Holocaust, he estimated 50 million people died, like all historical death tolls. This figure is uncertain. Our world in the data puts it at 19 million, okay? So if it was 19 million, but then he said 50 million, but that excludes several countries. Either way, tens of millions of people died, putting the famine in the same ballpark as the 1918 influenza epidemic, the world wars, and perhaps even the Black Death of the 1300s. So if that was really, if you had that many people dying, 50 million people, and then the 19 million people, and then the 1918 influenza epidemic and the world wars, and even the Black Death, and what, did they go on lockdown? Did they go on lockdown? Yeah. So that's me. So, and they had famine and stuff. So they're driven by climate change. Gathering the data, weather data. How can they get the weather data? Look, we find it the most severe event in the 800-year record in Asia. Why did they only have 1,800 of years in record in Asia? The information from South America and Africa was not good enough to make such a determination. And in North China, let's see if I can do this like this, you all. In North China, the drought was the worst in the last 300 years. So we know that they say they got their history going back to 300, and some parts of Asia, 800 years. You got the El Nino and El Nino, you had a big El Nino? I didn't know there was a big El Nino. Warm water spreads across a nexus of impacts, climate cycle. So we got climate change. We got a warning from history, you all. The drought happened before greenhouse gas emissions had affected the climate. That's why it is a cause for concern. If it happened once, it could happen again, and we don't know how often. So how could they have such greenhouse gas emissions way back then as much as we have now? That don't make sense, you all. As we have advanced, we should have a whole lot more greenhouse gas emissions than they had back then, I would think, don't you think? Because we don't have clean energy. And if they say that that caused the drought back then, and that was really bad, so that's really strange. It really is. Climate change is expected to make drought conditions more severe. Yeah. The good news is the world is more resilient. See this article. The world is more resilient to droughts today thanks to more resilient crops and extensive trade. If we had a drought like this today, says Oliver Rubin at Roskilde University in Denmark, if we had a drought like this today, there would be devastating effects on hunger, devastating effects on poverty. But while more people would go hungry, it should be possible to avoid a deadly famine. The contemporary famines we see are usually in very conflict-prone settings, like the South Sudan and Somalia, where governments are ineffectual and organizations struggle to enter. Look, during a major drought, So they can tell you what's going to happen. So if there's a major drought, trade should compensate for local food shortages by redistributing supplies. But we got trade wars going on. So we got trade wars going on. So how can they compensate for local food shortages by redistributing supplies? Okay, with this trade wars going on. That's what I'd like to say. So the International Food Policy Research in DC said food prices would rise. So the safety nets become crucial. Do we got safety nets, you all? The poorest people who cannot afford the higher prices need handouts. So Ethiopia has had such a safety net since the early 2000s. So the famines of the 1970s and 80s have not reoccurred. Even a huge shortfall in food should not lead to a famine if it's properly managed. There is no excuse for a famine. Now that's what they said. No excuse for a famine. Now this is from 2018. You know, I had somebody said, you know, why are you reading articles? I did a video, the Reptilian Brain, and I had someone come on here and comment why I should not have read an article from 2017 about the reptilian brain. So you know what I did? So yeah, look at this, what I just saw. Look, Google has mapped a place of human brain in the most detail ever. I want to see what they did. You all, we're gonna go all over the place. So this is new subject, June the 7th. I hope that's all right because I'm going to a new subject, okay? I'm going to go to a new subject. Google has helped create the most detailed map yet of the connections within the human brain, and it reveals a staggering amount of detail, patterns of connection between neurons, as well as what may be a new kind of neuron. Yes, a new kind of neuron, you all. They got a new neuron in your brain. Okay, you got one and I got one. We might have more than one neuron. Okay, we just might. Let's look at this. The brain map, which is freely available online. So you can see this right here. If you go right here, look at this. So newscientist.com, and you can see this new brain map of your brain, freely available online, and it includes 50,000 cells. And they're all rendered in 3 dimensions. Let me see if I can open up another tab. You know, I'm going to get myself, okay, I can't read that. Look at that, I know I can't read that brain. This is your 3-dimensional brain, your neurons right here. I think I was in here before, you all. I think I was. What do they got going on? So now I don't want to see all of that, you all. But you can go look at that brain. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They took a tiny piece of a brain from a 45-year-old woman with drug-resistant epilepsy. She underwent surgery to remove her left hippocampus and her source of her seizure. And to do this, they removed some healthy tissues and stuff. So let's okay. So yeah, they got the best brain detail ever of your brain. I know you don't want to see that about your brain. Look at this. A line of galaxies so big that it breaks. Oh, they got some galaxies, you all. Look, we got galaxies so big that it breaks our understanding of the universe. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness. An arc of galaxies that span 3.3 billion light years, about 3.5% of the observable universe, dubbed the Giant Arc by Alexia Lopez. University of Central Lancashire, UK, discovered the structure, and it isn't actually visible in the night sky. If it were, it would be as long as 20 full moons side by side. I'm not going to continue reading that, you all, but there's a line of galaxies so big it breaks our understanding of the universe. Yes, it does. You awesome. I got some sweat going on. It's a good thing I'm not sitting in too leather of a chair. Oh no, you all look at this. Look, this is not too nice. Why we are satellites? What brain implants can do for our families? Life. Do you want a brain implant? You know, you can have you a brain implant. Look, our brain implant. Look, we got some good data right here, you all. So that's what I'm talking about. Really good data. I hope the moderators aren't too good on here. I mean, aren't too good. I hope you're not too busy on here. Are you all too busy on here moderating? Because I don't know who's all on here. Yes. Yes, you're going to get a brain implant. Apple Brooks, you got this going. And I think a King of Hookamundo is also on here. You all got to wipe my sweat off. They're making my hair a little wet. See, that's great. Besides, you know what? I just want you all to know I don't like, I don't want nobody, I don't like no sweaty man hugging me. I don't like to hug your sweat. I don't like it. I do not. I like to watch men work. I really do. I like to see a man out there doing manual labor because I think it's rather exciting. I do. But I don't want one hugging me. Don't be hugging me when you're all sweaty. I don't want your sweat. I do not. Yeah, so look, we are satellites review. You all, I know that. I know this ain't got nothing to do with this, but I'm just sweating making me laugh. I never did like it. I did not. So look, we got some brain implants. Oh my gosh. Can we trust? Oh, look, the head of Zeus. Yes, hello everybody. I need a drink of water. Yes, a man with a job. Yes. And you know what? He can be working really hard around the house. That's exactly right. Whatever he does, as long as he's working, he can sweat. But don't you be coming trying to hug me because I don't want no sweaty hugs. I really don't want no sweaty hugs. Arg. Yeah, I'm trying to multitask. Yeah, I don't like sweaty hugs. It's kind of gross. Oh, my king of Hookamundo. There, I got some water. Yeah, Zeus is Jupiter, you all. Let's look at this. So we are satellites. Can we really trust a company seeking to put wires in our brain? And is it worth spending any mistrust for the sake of our children's future? These are the deep, real-life questions posed by award-winning Sarah Pinsker in her second science fiction novel, We Are Satellites. The story follows a family of four as they become increasingly entangled in the debate of the brain-boosting implant called the pilot. The pilot. Pinsker skillfully takes on a journey for more than technology as the pilot becomes a part of everyday life. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, welcome. I have jumped to my fourth subject here. And if you don't like people jumping subjects, it might not be a good video for you to watch because I don't have nothing to put in between these subjects. I don't. Yeah. So look at that. So it's called pilot. It's as the pilot becomes part of everyday life from schools to government offices. So that she takes you on a journey with different opinions of family members, parents. Unlike Elon Musk Neuralink or the brain stimulation device that are designed, to help people with disabilities, the pilot has one core function, multitasking. It claims to enhance the attention span of its users. So Val and Julie have to consider whether they want their children, Sophie and David, to opt for this little procedure so they can enhance their attention span. So they want to enhance their attention span. So this novel is around the anxieties of deciding whether or not you want your child to have an invasive procedure for the sake of keeping up with their classmates. Oh, wow. Oh, in the technology, We Are Satellites is similar to an existing brain implant meant to enhance your memory. But this will stimulate the right temporal partial junction in the brain, which is responsible for the reorienting attention. We can never be really sure about the full ramifications of having wires and electrodes in the brain. But wait a minute. Didn't Google just map the most detailed piece of the human brain ever? I think they did. They really did. That's right. There's a lot. You look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. Awake review. What would happen if nobody could sleep? Now, why would they write an article like that? If nobody could sleep, what would happen? Look at the date on this. Why are they writing articles like this, you all? In a dystopian future awake, everybody on Earth suddenly loses the ability to sleep, plunging the world into hysteria. Her young daughter just might possess the means to save mankind. Look at that, you all. So why sleep deprivation? Well, some people have went sleep deprivation, the biggest impact on its interpersonal interactions as people become quite irritable. Oh my goodness. Cognitive slows down. I hope they're not going to do this, you all. They studied fruit flies to offset the effect of sleep deprivation on the brain. I think they've been studying some stuff, and I don't know why. Yeah, what if everybody went blind? That could happen too. Then, I don't know. Yeah, let's look at this. Let me look at this. So, yeah, people look like, yeah. You all, you know what? So I'm going to come back to my thing because I've just jumped all around. I've jumped all around. Of course, it's all right. We got water wars. Some say they're manufactured to cause food shortages. That is a theory. We got the Drought Initiative by the United Nations. They got a drought initiative. We got Navajo ranchers. Oh, look. All of this drought. Yes, we got all this stuff going on, you all. And I got a page not found. We got the current drought index. Remember, all the richest landowners, they owned land west of the Mississippi. Okay, now let's think about this. If the richest landowners own the land west of the Mississippi, and remember that naval map, how it looks like this right here, and the wealthiest people already got land over here, what happens when the farmers, they can't afford to keep their land, and they have to sell their land at very cheap prices? I think that these wealthy landowners who already own land west of the Mississippi, they can come in and they can get them some land for really cheap. And then when the land does split and the massive earthquake occurs, then they'll already have their land over there. And then all the weather conditions will change. That's what I think. The weather conditions will change and they'll have really nice land. And if not the wealthy American landowners, then wealthy other people can come in and buy that land, you all. So you got to make the conditions right here. Get the conditions right to lower that price of that land and drive the people, the population out of that area so it can free up the land for other people to buy it for other use. That's what it's going to happen. So they got that land there because some of this land ain't going to be affected. Now there could be, they could want to have these people out of there for when the great big earthquake occurs and some part of California or the West Coast sinks into the ocean. They could want something like that. Yeah, borax in your water. Whoo! See, I'm glad you all can have conversations. I really am. That's great. Yeah. You know, They all back in let me just go here. What's the 1976? Let me type something in. Okay, weather. Let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah, here we go, right here. So this gets me in trouble. So look, here's what they did. In UN 1976 Weather Weapon Treaty, Convention on the Prohibition of Military or any other hostile use of environmental modification techniques adopted by the Resolution 3172 of the United Nations General Assembly on the 10th of December of 1976. The convention was opened for signatures at Geneva on the 18th of May 1977. The United Nations Assembly Resolution 3172 Annex C, the official records of the Assembly. So they agreed not to use the use of environmental modification technique. Because they can do that. They have the technology, you all, to do it. Look at this. No, you quit doing that to me. So let's look at this, you all. So look at this. Here's a chemtrail PDF, a leaked weather modification document. This, you are just going to, if you're watching this on your cell phone, just you go right here and you can find it, okay? I'm going to hold it there, right there for you all to see it, just like that. Okay, so look, I'm going to take it all the way across the screen. You're going to have to write it down, do something. So look at this. For those who may not have known this. So this looks like a good place where you can go. Hello. Right there. So https www.scribd.com //doc/3436120 UN-1976 weather-weapon-treaty. So you can see that, okay? You can see it, you all, and I'm sweating up a storm. The weather, the environmental stuff is making me sweat. It is. Oh no, you don't want to click into that, Jeannie. You're going to get yourself in TROUBLA or BLE. The Weather Modification Test Technology Symposium, 1997. Yes, look at that. Oh, look at this. Advanced Weapon Instrumentation Technologies. Potential weather modification. Look, so modification. This is for war. Look, AF2025. What's that mean, you all? AF2025, 2025. Maybe not. So degrade, here's what they're going to do. You can flood the lines of communication, reduce the effectiveness, decrease the comfort level, morale. You can do storm enhancement, deny operations, deny fresh water, induce the drought, disrupt communications for space weather, disable and destroy the space assets, fog and cloud removal, deny concealment, increase vulnerability, detect hostile weather activities, enhance friendly forces. You can maintain and you can improve. See, this they can counter it. Maintain visibility, maintain the comfort, the storm modification, choose your battle space, environment, space weather, improve communication reliability, intercept your enemy transmission, revitalize the space assets, fog and cloud generation. So have you ever woke up, and I have, this year was the first time, maybe one other time before, I saw such fog and hanging low, and I thought, this is not normal fog. That's exactly, come on now. I'm really sweating up. I'm really sweating up a storm now. So you can see this, you all. This was just in 1997 is what it was. 1997 is what it was. I'm going to tell you what, this is such good information, and it's so educational. Look, they got some treaty issues. They got some treaty issues Now see, this is what it is. So now see, they're talking about the UN Convention on the Prohibition of Military or any other hostile use of environmental modification that went into effect the 5th of October of 1978. It applies only to widespread, long-lasting, severe environmental location. So they can't do widespread, long-lasting, or severe, okay? So they're good. Local, non-permanent changes such as precipitation, enhancement, hail suppression, fog and cloud dispersal. You mean to tell me that they can make fog and cloud dispersal? Yes, it is permitted under the UN treaty. So since 1978, the official Air Force position has been that weather modification had little utility or military payoff as a weapon of war, and the official the Air Force position needs to be reevaluated in light of 19 years of scientific advances, in the light of the advanced weapon systems, which are more environmentally sensitive, to prepare against technology surprise. Hey, I have air conditioning. I have air conditioning up here, but if I turn it on, it might degrade my thing right here. And I don't mind sweating. I'm sitting still. I like it. I like it. I like to sweat at times. I really do. But if I'm moving around, I'm going to pass out. So yeah, I don't want to do that. Your dad remembers when gas was 10 cents a gallon. So look at this. So this is, look at this. So potential weather modification capabilities. We just looked at that. You know, I don't want to download that. Solar activity. Now this is what we want to look at. Okay. Solar activity. Yeah. High frequency active aurora research program. So they can do this right here. They can. Okay. Potential history of it. Previous weather modification work by laboratory predecessors, FIDO, World War II, clearing of supercooled fog at airfields in Alaska and other cold regions, 50s and 60s. Hole clearing with carbon black, 50s and 60s. Hole clearing with silver iodide, 50s through 70s. Hole clearing by helicopters, 60s and 70s. Ho Chi Minh Trail muddying. That made me mad. 60s and 70s, and contrail suppression. So all of that, you all. So yeah, I remember that Ho Chi Minh, that I heard that was used there. I really did. Okay, now see, we're going to look at some more. Look at this. Cloud seeding. Weather modification using carbon black. Increase the precipitation. Increased precipitation will cause muddy dirt roads to decrease the trackability. It will flood the fields and small rivers. It will decrease the troop comfort level. This is against your enemy, maybe even against your own forces. Not ours, but yeah. Decrease trackability by snow or freezing rain when temperature conditions are right. See, so they can do this. Decrease precipitation. Dry out the roads, the fields for improved trackability. Deny fresh water to troops in semi-dry regions. Cloud seeding. Increase the cirrus cloud cover. Deny visual satellite or high altitude reconnaissance. Decrease the light level for nighttime operations. You can dissipate fog. Uncover targets for visual aid. Provide visual inspection of damage. Provide visual reconnaissance of open airfields for landing. Reevaluation of cloud and fog. The physics, computers, numerological, cloud physics, radiation. Warning. Must test against the real data. Nuclear winter versus nuclear summer. U.S. supersonic transport and ozone. Weather forecasts get timely feedback. So look, cloud cover over the earth. You all, this goes on and on. It goes on and on. Look at this. Real-time coverage for operational use being developed by blah, blah, blah. There we go. So you can see it all. You all hit this like button. Look, they said, look at that. They did World War II, aborted missions. Vietnam, Operation Popeye. Gulf War, aborted missions. CITOS, conference every 18 months. 18 months. Storm modification. Oh, see, you say, Gina, they can't do that. Who said they can't do that? Who said that they can't cause thunderstorms, hurricanes, hail, all that? Okay, there are people out there, and if you're one of those people watching this video and you think that stuff ain't real, that stuff is real. And this is not the only country that has it, okay? It's not. All the countries of the world that have the technology and the money to do this and the resources, they've done it too, and they have it too. And they can use that against other countries, okay? They got their stuff flying over, okay? They do. Nobody owns space. Nobody. Now let's look at this. So storm modification. They can energy reaching top of the atmosphere from the sun. Look at that, you all. They can do a small thunderstorm. They can do a large severe thunderstorm. They can do a major storm system. They can do a hurricane. They're telling you what they can do, okay? They're telling you what they can do. Chaos butterfly, effect unpredictable. Lord have mercy, who knows what that is? You all, that don't sound good at all. Chaos butterfly, unpredictable. Look, and they can improvements in the weather forecast. Satellite with 26 IR channels. 2004 projected launch. They will provide worldwide vertical temperature profiles by 2020. Chaos seems to be limited to active regions. Look for the butterfly. Does it look like a butterfly? If you see a butterfly thing in the sky, look, limit of forecast. Look at this. Major improvements in cloud forecast by 2010. Look, new weapon systems, more sensitive to the atmosphere. I hope this is all right, you all. This is fine, you know. All of it is. They're talking about they're going to create the lightning. See, they're creating the lightning now. Let's look at this. New weapon systems are more sensitive to the atmosphere. I want to tell you, this is back in 1970. This is like 1990 something. Composite materials and lightning. Electronic components and lightning. The need to involve weather officers very early. World War II radar example. The atmosphere can help as well as hinder. Clouds and the airborne laser. Laser lightning rods to trigger lightning. Laser fog clearing and hole boring. So, summary. Major improvements in short-term forecasts by 2010. 14-day forecast by 2040. Current capabilities, targeted fog dispersal. They can do that. They can make it foggy over your area. So when you wake up in the morning and you think you're going to be on time for work and you see this fog and you ain't going to be on time, you're going to be late. You ain't even going to be able to see very far in front of you. So targeted fog dispersal, local changes in precipitation, cloud modification, surveillance coverage, hole boring. I really don't know what hole boring is. Create and suppress cirrus contrails. Ionospheric modification. Energy requirements are too large for major storms. Energy requirements too large for major storms, so they're going to do these improvements. Treaty restrictions. New weapon systems push the envelope. They want new weapon systems and they want you to push the envelope. That means the money. The environment must be considered from the start of the concept design for all new weapon systems. Okay, so you all can see this. Okay, I don't know what hole boring is. I don't. Hole boring in the sky. I can't write this in on you all. A large number of people take the, come on now. So yeah, so I just want to see what hole boring is. It probably doesn't even have something for us to look up on. Boring in the sky. Yeah, I found it. Okay. So scientists want to use space lasers to bore holes. scientists to bore holes through clouds using lasers from satellites. So all these satellites up there can do all those things. Okay, it can do all those things. Let's look at the images of hole boring in the sky. So when you see this, I guess this is hole boring in the sky. Is that what it is? We don't have got very many images of it. We only got this one. Boring holes in the sky at sunset. Life has been busy. A storm moved in. I guess this is what hole boring looks like, you all. You think it does? I don't know. Into the sky we go. I don't really want to look at that, you all, but I'm telling you what, this is, so they're drilling holes in the sky with their satellites, is what they're doing. Okay. Does he, no, that's boring. His boring company is underground boring tunnels. That's what he's doing. He's boring tunnels underground is what he's doing. Look at this. Boring a hole in the sky, 6 million miles. Now, how can you do 6 million miles with a fighter pilot? Well, this is a book. So, according to this book, they've been doing this since way back then. Do you think that? Way back then? If this is the case, then where did they get their technology to do this, you all? I think they got their technology from some kind of hydrate. Sweating out all of my impurities in my skin, in my body. That's what I'm doing. I'm sweating out these in my body, you all. Yeah. Look, sky engineer not able to drill. What? He was trying to drill through a sky? Let's look at him. I have decided to have a sky dish installed. Okay, I have a data for the engineer to call. They wanted to drill through the... No, I'm not talking about drilling through a wall. I'm talking about drilling through the sky. That wasn't that, you all. I can drill a hole in the wall. I don't want that right there. So there's a place called who knows? All I know, you all, is we got led to a drought index. If I can get to it right here. Right there. Oh my goodness. King Ohukomindo, thank you. So we got a drought, and we know that there was a treaty, weather weapon like that. And we came over to here. Okay, you see this right here? Edward Bryan Rudder, the mulatto in the United States. Okay, you know what? That's what they labeled my my grandmother on my mother's side, and her dad and his dad and their children mulattoes. They labeled them mulattoes. You know why? Because they were dark-skinned. So why did they feel the need to label them mulattoes? Okay, they did. And you know, if you do, if you go back and you do the census, if you go look for the census records, where they did them every year, I went back, the furthest I could go back was around the 1800s. There wasn't anything further back. So if history is only like from the 1800s, and it don't go back any further, what's that, you know? Why do they want to, why is that in there, you all? I don't know why they got that. about the mulattoes, because that's my family origin. Look, the mulatto in the United States and the study of mixed blood races. Why would they do something like that? This is empty. They won't let you see it. I don't want to do it. You know what? I don't know. Now, yeah, so obviously this place right here, you all, if you come right here, you can find all kinds of information. All kinds of information right here. If you go to this, I hope that me doing this doesn't knock them off there, okay? I really do. I hope that just because I'm on here showing this, it doesn't get this website in trouble, because I don't want it to. But it is. I really like this website. I'm gonna bookmark it over here if I can. I guess I bookmarked it. No. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it in a sticky note is what I'm going to do. Just find a sticky note and I'm going to paste it in there. Okay, I've got it. You've got to stop the government putting chemtrails. What you want to talk to NASA? You got to stop the government putting, you know what? I can't stop them. Okay, I can't really stop them at all. Can you stop them? No. They got a plan. Anyone can tell you that she won't tell you about our government controlling her weather. I think we got a troll on here. Is what I think we've got. Glenn Horta. Yeah. You comment again, you're going to get banned. I don't know where these people come up with their ideas. I really don't know where they come up with their ideas, where their perceptions of me come from, but they're unfounded. They really are. Yeah. Oh my goodness, you all. That's exactly right. I wish I can find that Apple Brooks one I like. Now I can't get that individual. Apple Brooks. That's right. I see him in timeout. Yeah. So this is really good, you all. This is a very good website. It looks like it has all types of thousands of titles and stuff that you can subscribe to. All of it. See, look at all of this. I think this is so cool. Did we just do that? Problems and policies. Oh, look at that, you all. The 95th thing. Isn't that neat? That's right, Rose. Look at that. That is so cool. You all, this is, I highly recommend you clicking like on this video so it can get recommended and shared to others, because this right here, it's got so much information in it. And this is, the 30 years have passed, I think. Yeah. Well, Apple Brooks, honey, I knew you were going to have to do that. I really did. You didn't wait. You know, we need to give a thumbs up for Apple Brooks.